What's up, Dice Crew? Keeping it a Benji, and I'm getting back with y'all. Now we got Trey Deee sitting down with Vlad TV discussing the comments that Special Ed had made pertaining to NWA and gangster rap, pretty much hurting hip hop. So let's tune in to see what Trey Deee and Vlad got to say. I'm gonna keep it a Benji for y'all doing the reaction like I always do. Y'all keep it a Benji for me in the comments. Shout out to the Dice Crew and shout out to the sponsors, Yard Down Bullies. I'm gonna have a link in the description so y'all can tune in with them. Let's rock.
Well, Special Ed, he did an interview on Drink Champs, and he said that NWA brought destruction to hip hop. What do you think about that statement?
Well, they brought more prominence to hip hop as well. You know.
Yes, they did.
I mean, they just brought the glaring reality of life in Los Angeles County, California. They've found a way to articulate it and make it entertaining, you know, from LA to Compton, stories, you know, Watts, you know, and they did a wonderful job of it, and it just resonated throughout the globe. That's why our coast and culture is the more imitated around the globe, because it's you feel the tragedy and the
And you know, I mean, Trey definitely got some points right there, right? And I'm not saying that I don't kind of understand what Special Ed was trying to say itself, but I like what Ice Cube had said at one point, right? And no, back to what Trey just said. Like, yeah, like the West Coast culture, that SoCal culture, is the biggest culture that's imitated all around the world. You know what I mean? No matter how you flip it, it's more people that want to be a Snoop Dogg, a Tupac, NWA, Ice Cube, West Side Connection, the East Siders. I mean, you know, the list can go on and go on. I don't think it's so, you know, and I could be kind of wrong, but at this moment, that's what my thought is on that. You feel me? I think that's the most impactful culture all around the board, you know. I mean, even you got people like Pimp C and them, you know. Even like if you watch Boozy at times, Boozy comes off like he mimics a lot of West Coast SoCal culture. You know, Pimp C was a big fan of the culture. You know, I mean, even Atlanta and stuff, even just whether they're gonna be from the gangs or pick up their habits or whatever. That's one of the most impactful cultures, SoCal, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not taking away from everybody having a moment. You know, there have been times where I feel like the East Coast done definitely made people want to move like people from the East Coast. I feel like Midwest have had it. Midwest kind of do be having it now with the whole drill culture. Down South have had it. You know, a lot of people want to feel or carry themselves like the faces of the South. You know, whether it might be a Future or it used to be like a 2 Chainz. Who else can I say? Like just Jeezy, Gucci Man, Miami people, Ross and them, Plies and them, you know, UGK, Ghetto Boys. Like, you know, I feel like everybody kind of get a moment and play a big part of creating this whole thing that we call hip hop, you know. That's why I feel like everybody really loves hip hop. So many different things that we could look to it to be, so many things a part of hip hop that's appealing, right? And back to like the topic, I like what Ice Cube said pertaining to the whole gangster rap thing. He said it wasn't even about being on gangster rap. It was more about just being reality rap. And I get that. Like, you know, you can't really be mad at a person for delivering some type of art that's just a mirror, a reflection of their reality. It's just real. You know, people might not like what NWA or any other artists have put out there, but rap and hip hop is just a way of expression, and people is expressing what they know. What's going on down the street, what's going on next door, what's going on in their apartments, in their projects, so on and so on. So I feel like even if you might have a problem with somebody expressing the truth and that reality, the bigger problem lies in the reality that people are actually facing and dealing with.
Triumph of of being a notable in the city. You know what I'm saying? And that's what pretty much everybody's trying to be. You know, whether you're dope dealer, the best basketball player, whatever, you striving to reach that peak. And I don't know, it might be that the cost of living is so high out here, and and it's just it's a lot of different dynamics that that make our story more, that resonate more, and it's more personable. So I wouldn't say brought destruction to hip hop. It brought awareness, more awareness about our lifestyle out here in California to hip hop. It kind of exposed, the police, how they get down to to the world that might not have known it, was it not for them expressing it in music. They kind of put a stamp on the dress code of a West Coast artist, and I don't know, a lot of songs they made had fun too. So I mean, then they skits were immaculate.
This is true. Yeah.
So it's like I wouldn't have went that far to say brought destruction to it, and maybe he had another angle for it, or maybe it was for attention. But
I've interviewed him about it. I know Special Ed. In fact, the first rapper.
I met Special Ed before.
Yeah.
He came to Doghouse before.
Yeah, cool dude, man.
Yeah.
Cool dude. And matter of fact, I remember I told him this in our interview. The first rapper interview I ever did in my life was Special Ed at his. And cool dude. And matter of fact, I remember I told him this in our interview. The first rapper interview I ever did in my life was Special Ed at his house in Brooklyn. He invited me.
And I also want to insert this, right? I'm not really familiar with who Schoolie D is, but if you ever look up like on Google and whatnot on who's the founders and the fathers and all this stuff of gangster rap, they do say NWA, and they call Eazy-E the father of gangster rap, but they also say that Ice-T is the father, one of the founders or the founder of Ice-T, and they also said Schoolie D, and Schoolie D is from the East Coast. He from Philadelphia. Ice-T, I'm sure y'all know who Ice-T is. He from Los Angeles. Then you got NWA, Compton, in the mix of some LA stuff. So, I mean, who do we hold accountable at the end of the day,
Over. This is when I was writing a hip-hop book.
Uh-huh.
And, he was one of the people I wanted to interview. He's like, yeah, come over. Literally sat, recorded him and literally the first rapper ever.
Yeah, he was.
I was nobody at the time. I was literally had just gotten to New York, so it was a big deal to me. It was a special, moment. And I think what he was saying, and he said that he did talk to the NWA members about it, like him and Ice Cube had a conversation, and basically what I'm trying to paraphrase what he said, but essentially what Ice Cube told him was that at the time they were just doing kind of hood stories and didn't really think very much of it. It was like they was just trying to
come up with content,
little local stuff and whatever else, not thinking this is about to get worldwide.
Right.
And then it did.
Yeah.
Then they had to stand on it,
right.
And they didn't know the effect of what it was supposed to have. They was just trying
the strength of street knowledge.
Yeah,
like they say.
They was doing local stuff, and then it became the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
And
it was the biggest thing ever.
It was the biggest thing ever.
And shout out to everybody having their own opinion. I don't got nothing bad to say about the dude Special Ed, because shit, that we on the mission. At the mission,
oh yeah,
that was hip hop. I mean,
I Got It Made had one of the greatest hip hop beats ever.
You know what I mean? Yeah, kind of find the Honda scooters got 7.
Yeah, you gotta give Special Ed his flowers.
Before even got a little island of my very own. Yeah, he was talking his shit.
A dog with a solid gold bone. Yeah, we was all special ed, so everybody got an opinion in hip hop.
Yeah.
Glad, like everybody got an opinion in the world. You can't.
And you know something else about Special Ed that some people might not even really know him by the music or whatever, but you know he played in Juice and he gave that cameo. He was the dude who was messing with Raheem's children's mother. Remember he was like talking to her in front of the building and whatnot, pulled off in the whip. That was Special Ed. If people ain't really familiar with who Special Ed is.
Opinion in hip hop.
Yeah.
Glad, like everybody got an opinion in the world. You can't live off the opinion of others.
Exactly.
You can't, or you'll find yourself in a box scared to move because it'll be like, oh, he might not like this. Oh, she might not like if I do this, or and it's like, shit, fuck that. Do what you're comfortable with. Be yourself. Stand in your own truth.
And now look, these dudes from Compton, since our last interview, did the Super Bowl. Dre,
Humongous.
Snoop, Kendrick.
50 Cent.
Yeah, but I'm talking about West Coast.
Oh, gotcha.
LA
gotcha,
guys, Compton, LA, Long Beach.
Got you.
Southern California doing the biggest stage in America.
The
The
biggest
Super Bowl
stage.
halftime show.
I mean, that was definitely big, you know what I mean? Shout out to the whole Shady Aftermath, whole, Dre, M, 50, Snoop, Kendrick, just everything that pretty much fall up under that Dr. Dre campaign and that tree, Shout out to all of them. And shout out to Mary J. Blige, because she was on there too.
Mega.
To go from local street,
And I think I said Eminem, of course.
Gotcha.
entertainment to the biggest stage in the U.S.
Mega.
That's saying a lot.
That's saying a whole
That's
lot.
saying a lot.
And shout out to the genius of brother Jay-Z.
Yeah, who put it together?
Yeah, shout out there. We gonna
Yeah, gotta shout out to Jay-Z for definitely putting that together.
give credit where it's due all the way around. That's why I don't really engage with the whole East Coast, West Coast thing. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no mutually exclusive. This is all hip hop. You feel
Right.
where I'm coming from? So, it's always people that's involved that you don't even know about. That's you don't have no idea where they from, and they can be helping to further your career or further the culture. So, you have to appreciate everybody for what they bring to the table.